Batang Lupar is the third longest river in Sarawak. Flowing for 275 kilometers from the Kelingkang Range to the South China Sea, it was a very important mode of transport in the old days. As a result, many villages and longhouses sprang up along the river. The coming of the White Rajas brought along the establishment of trading towns along the river. In this video, let us take a look at Batang Lupar and its riverine towns. Right at the river mouth itself is the first town, Sebuyau. Sebuyau is actually located on the banks of Sebuyau River, about 400 meters off the Batang Lupar. A small town with several rows of shop houses, it is most busy in the morning when the locals come out to run their errands. The people are mainly farmers and fishermen, and river transportation is still very important to them. Up ahead is the confluence of Sebuyau River and Batang Lupar. This is the river mouth, the widest river in Malaysia. At this point, it is more than 4 kilometers wide. On a clear day, the Trisel ferry, which is 7 kilometers away, can be seen. Crossing the Batang Lupar in the ferry is an adventure by itself. The time taken for the ferry to cross the Batang Lupar can take up to 45 minutes. Seagulls can sometimes be seen following the ferry searching for food. The construction of the Batang Lupar bridge has started, as can be seen here. It is expected to be completed by the year 2025. The second stop is Lingga. When this video was taken, the Lingga waterfront was in the process of being built. Like Sebuyau, Lingga town is not located on the banks of Batang Lupar, but on the banks of Seterap River, about 500 meters from Batang Lupar. A one-street bazaar, Lingga is made out of about 20 wooden shops built on stilts. Quite deserted, many of the shops are no longer operating. This is the wooden jetty of Lingga, located on the banks of Seterap River, where villagers staying along rivers still use to come to Lingga. About 500 meters from the town, this is the confluence between Seterap and Batang Lupar. At this point, the Batang Lupar is still very wide. Next stop, although not a town, it is an important location to take note of. This is the jetty to Pulau Seduku, where there is a nature reserve. Pulau Seduku lies in the middle of the river. It is about 47 kilometers from the river mouth and 35 kilometers from Semangang town. Due to the funnel shape of the Batang Lupar river mouth and its shallow depth, tidal balls are generated each time there is high tide. The tidal ball will first make its appearance as the tide passes by Pulau Seduku. The tidal ball begins at Pulau Seduku and ends in Berangan not far after passing Semangang town. The local name for tidal ball is Benak, and Batang Lupar is one of the few rivers in the world that experiences tidal balls. The tidal ball in Semangang can reach 3 meters in height. The Benak was also made famous by the writer Somerset Maugham, who almost died when the boat he was in capsized in one of these Benaks. He wrote about it in one of his books. It is said that the best place to watch the Benak is in Semangang, so much so that Semangang is also known as the Benak town, and every year the town organizes the very popular Benak Fest. Other than the Benak, Batang Lupar is also known for its crocodiles, of which the most infamous one was Bujang Senang. Bujang Senang terrorized and killed many victims in the 1980s before it was finally killed in 1992. Today, this skull can be seen in Jong's crocodile farm in Kuching. Next stop, Semangang. Semangang is the largest town in the Batang Lupar basin. It is also the capital of Sri Aman Division. During the White Raja's era, this was Charles Brooke's favorite town, where he served for a good number of years before becoming the Raja. In the last 20 years, rapid development has turned this once sleepy town into a bustling town that the local people can be proud of. Basically an agriculture town, its interesting history connected to the White Raja's era and its good fortune of having the tidal bore passing by the town makes it an attractive tourist destination. The tidal bore observation tower is one of the places to visit in Semangang. It provides a panoramic view of Batang Lupar. Another tourist attraction here is Fort Alice. Semangang is also well known as the venue for the signing of the Memorandum of Peace between the government and the communists to end the communist insurgency in 1973. It was renamed Bandar Sri Aman to commemorate the event, and the symbol of a pair of white doves was adopted to symbolize the town. After 46 years, the name of the town was reverted to Semangang in 2019. The division, however, remains as Sri Aman Division. Fifth stop, Engkelili. At this point, Batang Lupar has narrowed to about 30 meters in width. The river water is also noticeably cleaner without the muddy color. The history of Engkelili goes back to about 170 years ago when Hakka miners from Pontianak and Sambas came over for gold mining. Later, in early 20th century, Teochew started coming to the town. They were mainly traders and operate their business in the town. Today, the town has expanded beyond the few rows of shophouses facing the Batang Lupar. Although much busier than the old days, it is basically still a morning town, and by noon, the town would usually be quite deserted with most of the shops closed except for some sundry shops. There is a beautiful suspension bridge in town that enable the people to cross the river to the villages on the opposite bank. Probably the most famous thing to come from Engkelili is the Batu Nabau, a fierce-looking snake-like rock located about 3 kilometers from the town. The last town along Batang Lupar is Lubuk Antu. A point to take note is that the river is known by the name Batang Ai from this point onwards. A bustling little town, Lubuk Antu is a border town and there is a ICQS complex to facilitate the movement of people across the border. Like the rest of the towns along Batang Lupar, Lubuk Antu was established during the White Raja's era and was an important outpost. With the coming relocation of the Indonesian capital to Nusantara in Kalimantan, and the improvement of roads on both sides of the border, the future of Lubuk Antu looks bright. Like the other towns in the Batang Lupar basin, the old town of several rows of wooden shops has expanded beyond that, and the public facilities are good. It has a very nice waterfront with watchtower and nice playground, and even a giant orangutan which was scared of King Kong. About 20 kilometers from Lubuk Antu town is the Batang Ai Dam. Completed in 1985, the dam generates hydroelectric power for the state. Clear and clean water flowing downstream. The lake created by the construction of the dam is a popular place to visit. From the Kelingkang Range, Batang Ai flows into this lake on the way to the South China Sea. My journey ends here. Hopefully, one day I have the opportunity to continue from here to track this river to its source. Thank you for watching this video.